We are living in a computer-programmed reality, and the only clue we have to it is when some variable is changed and some alteration in our reality occurs. We would have the overwhelming impression that we were reliving the present, déjà vu, perhaps in precisely the same way, hearing the same words, saying the same words. I submit that these impressions are valid and significant, and I will even say this: such an impression is a clue that at some past time point a variable was changed, reprogrammed as it were, and that because of this an alternative world branched off.
Good morning, and welcome to the Wednesday edition of Free Association Radio. This program is called, hold on, I'm just typing here, Navigating the Astrological Matrix, and I'll be your host here for the next, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours, however long we have in terms of gas, in terms of fuel. The fuel being callers that want to talk to me and want to explore the vast mystery of the cosmos known as astrology. And we can talk astrology, we can talk about your charts, you can ask me questions, we can do readings, we can get into it. Today is the 7th of December 12th, 7/11. Some interesting birthdays today. Let's do a quick scan of them, shall we? Right at the top of the list, Larry Bird. Larry Bird, most commonly known as probably the best white basketball player ever. There's, Larry Bird got into this whole, Magic versus Bird thing. And that started with them when they were in college, which was really interesting to see happen. Magic was a Leo, and Bird is a Sagittarius. So they had a fire trine going on with their signs. And both of those guys really, they really lived their signs. When you saw Magic, he had the big smile, radiant, the face lined up, lit up a room. He was a Leo sun. He's playing in L.A., Hollywood, right? He's a star. They called his team the Showtime Lakers. It was total Magic Johnson, Leo's son. Completely nailed that. Bird, on the other hand, played in Boston, away from the center of the basketball universe, which at that time was Los Angeles. Let's be clear about that. That was the center of the Showtime Lakers were where it was at. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy, Magic, and a whole cast of characters. And Magic Johnson was the sun. He was the sun of the center of the basketball universe. Bird was Jupiter. He was Sagittarius. He was the second sun. Not as bright as Magic, but still throwing off light, heat, gas. You had to notice Bird. You had to. And he was incredibly athletic. Well, no, I take that back. He was not athletic. What he was smart, and he maximized every single fiber of his being. So in some ways he was athletic. He was not gifted with athletic natural abilities, like say Magic was. Like Magic was 6'9", and he could dribble a basketball like he was 5'9". I mean, we'd never seen a player like Magic Johnson before. Bird did all the things that he needed to do and then some. And he was an amazing competitor and apparently one of the great trash talkers of the game, a legendary trash talker. Right below Larry Bird, Ellen Burstyn. Her birthday today. Ellen Burstyn, one of my favorite actresses. She's a Sufi, by the way. And in one of my favorite, most underrated movies of all time, which was, I'm having a moment, man. I'm having a chemtrail, nano, too much aluminum in my brain moment. Resurrection's the name of the movie. It's really good. And Sam Shepard's in it. So you have Sam Shepard and you have Ellen Burstyn. If you haven't seen the movie, I'll just give you the premise, okay? Ellen Burstyn is young, youngish, attractive. She's, she's in love. She's with a guy who's got a really fast car, and they take a fateful ride. She gets to an accident. She has a near-death experience, and she dies. She dies, comes back. Takes her a long time to, recuperate, recover. She winds up going back home to, I think it's like Oklahoma or someplace like that. Definitely, middle America, South Middle America. Has to live with her father, who's a religious fundamentalist, hard man, is a farmer, hard man. And while she's there, she gets acquainted with the local bad boy, played perfectly to a T by Sam Shepard. It's one of Sam Shepard's first movie roles, actually. And she winds up having an affair with Sam Shepard. Meanwhile, she begins to find out that she's got this incredible power to heal and becomes this very well-known hands-on healer. I'm not going to tell you anything more about the movie in case you find it on Netflix or some other place. If you have any interest in spirituality, any interest in near-death experiences, it's a really good movie to see. There are people that bust on it, whatever. I like it. I think it's a good flick. I actually spent a weekend with the woman who was the spiritual advisor, the technical advisor to that film. Her name was Rosalind Bruyere. Rosalind Bruyere. She was Rosalind Bruyere was hot in the 80s and the 90s. She was kind of like the Marianne Williamson before there was Marianne Williamson. There was Rosalind Bruyere. Although Rosalind Bruyere was also a channel. So I actually spent a weekend with her, and it was underwhelming to say the least, especially when she decided to channel. Anyway, she was the spiritual advisor to the movie Resurrection. It's a good movie. Check it out. Harry Chapin, his birthday today. What can you say about Harry Chapin? Cats in the Cradle, one of the saddest songs of all time. You can't listen to Cats in the Cradle without crying. At least I can. Or I used to cry when I listened to that song, Cats in Your Cradle. Very sad song. Noam Chomsky, Noam Avram Chomsky, the darling of the progressive left, who thinks that Noam Chomsky was letting them in on some really great secrets. He's a code breaker. Noam Chomsky's a gatekeeper. Sorry. Hate to break the news. Gatekeeper. I tell you, Noam Chomsky was responsible for one of the worst classes I ever had in college. It was this class on the deep structure of language. Ugh. Hold on a second. Somebody's calling me. They're interrupting my flow. Don't they know I have a show on? My friend Dell. Obviously, I'm not the center of his universe. He doesn't know that. Anyway, I had this class, deep structure of language. It was kind of like, it was like the physics of language. And I tried to wrap my head around Chomsky, Roland Barthes, all these people, the deep structure of language. And dude, hold on a second. Hey man, I'm on the air now. Call me back for the show. See, I had to do that or else you keep calling me. That's where this is. One of these days, when I hit the big time, people will know. They'll remember what time I go in the air. Anyway, Chomsky, his birthday is today. I could not figure out the damn deep structure of language. I passed the class, though, which is all I really wanted to do. Let's see, a couple of other interesting birthdays today. John Ramsey, yes, the father of JonBenet Ramsey. Let's look at his chart. Let's see, he's got Pluto in the 8th house. How about that? Moon in the 8th house. Wow. He's got a Sun in the 4th house in Sagittarius, opposing Mars up in the 10th, conjuncting Uranus on his midheaven. That Moon in the 8th house is problematic. It opposes Venus. And let's see, it trines Mercury, trines Black Moon Lilith. I'm starting to get into Black Moon Lilith a little bit more as an aspect. And I might have somebody on the show in a couple of weeks to really break Black Moon Lilith down. We'll see what I can do. It is not my area of expertise. It's interesting, the opposition between the Moon and Venus. Venus for John Ramsey, 28 degrees Saturn. I'm sorry, 28 degrees Virgo. What am I talking about? 20 degrees Libra. Venus opposing Moon in the 8th house. 8th house, house of death. Moon in Aries. Creepy. Okay, I'll go on the record that the JonBenet Ramsey case will actually become resurrected to a large extent in the public's eye as Saturn gets closer and closer to his natal Venus. Look for the Ramsey case to come back around again. And there's a lot there. It's very dark, extremely dark. Patsy Ramsey, of course, couldn't handle the truth. And she was expendable. What's really weird, right, is this Natalie Holloway's mom. Natalie Holloway's mom is with John Ramsey now. How freaking weird is that? We live in a bizarre universe, man. Let me tell you. So it's John Ramsey's birthday today. I'll keep my mouth shut. I don't want to editorialize any more on John Ramsey. Let's see what else we have here. We've got Tom Waits, the amazing Tom Waits. If you've never listened to Tom Waits' music, I'll tell you a movie to watch. It's called Big Time. It's a concert film. It's kind of a hard movie to watch in some ways. The way that it's filmed, I mean, it's got some very strange effects, but it will clue you into the genius of Tom Waits in a way that I don't think any other film I've seen has in terms of his music. Tom Waits is incredible. And his band, top-notch band. Mark Ribot, his guitar player, is off the charts good. So it's Tom Waits' birthday today. Tom Waits, of course, plays Lucifer in the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, which is a very interesting film. Let's just put it that way. Heath Ledger's last movie, even though I believe he was in production later with Batman. I mean, it all kind of blurs together there at the end of Heath Ledger's life. Batman and the Imaginarium. It's interesting, in Batman he plays the Joker, the Fool, and then in Imaginarium plays the Hangman. Two very, very archetypal roles that likely were carved out for him. Heath Ledger. If you ever look at Heath Ledger's chart, he's got a ton of planets in Pisces. Sacrificial Heath Ledger. Today, I'd say what we're going to get into a little bit today. We're going to get into Sabian symbols today. And if you want to call in during the show, I'm only going to do sun signs. Because, if you want me to do it depends. Okay, I have to check the flow of the show. And if the flow of the show allows me to do natal charts, I'll do natal charts. If I've got a bunch of people in the queue, I won't do natal charts because I just won't have the time.